Hey everybody. Today I want to talk to you about garbage. We're taught in school, reduce, reuse, recycle. And the emphasis is always put on recycle. And then it's a secondary reuse, or sometimes upcycle. And those are great things. But I think now, living on the homestead, some things have changed and made me realize we need to really concentrate more on the reduce part. So when we moved out here, we closed on this house in early September, and we were between cities and between houses until just like December 1st here recently, and we didn't think too hard about it. We moved out here and we signed up for weekly garbage service like we have everywhere else that we've lived. We've lived in the country before, but we've never been homesteading, and we've never been so far away from town that we couldn't get garbage service. So we signed up here just like everywhere else and didn't think too hard about it. We've been busy moving. My husband had to travel for his job. And then we traveled together for my business through the fall. It's the busiest time of year for me. And then we realized all this time we have been setting aside the recycling like we always have before, but we didn't sign up for recycling pickup. And my husband said, I didn't even think about it. They didn't offer me an option. So we called and we found out they actually don't offer a recycling option where we are. So I need to do some research now and see if there's a recycling center that we can take to, but it just reminded me one of the reasons that I want to do this is to reduce the excess in our lives and the convenience things that keep us not as active and not eating as well and a lot of other things. It occurred to me that all of the goals that we have for health, and knowing where our food comes from and all the things that go along with homesteading can all kind of come back to waste and what we do with our waste. So, as I'm gathering up all this recycling, I didn't want to put it in the garbage. It just feels so wrong to do. So I'm starting to come up with a plan now of what do we do with our waste. So one of the first things I actually did do is start a compost pile, because we were either throwing everything away before or putting it down the garbage disposal. We actually don't have a garbage disposal here, at least not yet. We are renovating and we will have one, but I don't know that we'll actually use it all that much going forward once we implement a few things. We don't have animals yet. In the future, a lot of those kitchen scraps will probably go to chickens or goats or something. But right now, we do have a compost pile. So we're reducing waste that way, at least. It's not a sophisticated pile by any means. It started literally with the leftover apples from the trees that we just did not have time to get to this year. We're going to build bins around it and build it up and manage it more properly. But at least we've started one, and the kitchen scraps go on it every day or so. And we do still have, you can see behind me here, our weekly can that gets picked up. And right now, we actually have a dumpster in the driveway. You've probably seen in a couple of my previous videos, because we are doing renovations inside the house. And we needed a place to throw away cabinetry and countertops and stuff that can't be reused. Flooring that was damaged, and all of the kind of stuff that goes along with construction. And the garbage company told us everything can go in there, anything can go in there. So right now, that's where our recycling is going, that we can't do something else with. So now I want to come up with a plan to manage the rest of the garbage, the waste, including recycling. So some things will be able to reuse. So I'll walk you over here and show you our dumpster here. Let me turn you around. So this is the dumpster that we have right now. It's quite large. I don't remember how many cubic feet or yards or however it's measured it is, but it's meant to absorb an entire kitchen and all the the leftovers from renovating in our downstairs family room, which we did first. And there's some things I see in here that the kids apparently put in that I need to pull out. Like this piece of paneling over here, there's no reason to throw that away. But yeah, a lot of things can be reused, like jars can be reused, and the paneling, that can be reused. There's also a lot of cardboard that probably could be used for some mulching and stuff. We did save some, and it was getting to be a rather large pile, so we started throwing the rest away. But, most of this stuff, this is all going to go to the dump. So, obviously we don't want to put things in the landfill that don't have to go in there. And we're giving ourselves some leniency right now while we're doing renovations. But going forward, we want to change all that. So let's go look at the compost pile. So this is our current compost pile. It's not very big yet, and certainly not well managed or anything. We have it back here by the barn. I'm planning, we have some up in the barn in the loft. They left quite a few pallets. I'm planning to use the pallet wood to make maybe a 3-bin compost, so we can manage it a little better. It does look like the kids put a little bit of vegetation on top there, but I know it can be managed much better than this, so that's one way to try to reduce the amount of waste we're putting out into the world. And then another way is somewhere in this general vicinity, once we clear some of this brush and stuff, I think what we'll do is start a burn barrel for some of the cardboard and paper products and anything that can be burned, and try to, whatever we can't use for mulching or something like that, to not be putting that into the dumps and stuff too. So by the time we actually purchased this house in the fall and we got through all of the traveling that we were doing, and now we're at a point where it's coming up on the holiday season, we didn't get to put a garden in here this year, and previously to this we've been renting for 8 years. So I don't already have, the only thing I have canned is applesauce and apple butter, a little bit of pear butter, because those are the trees we had here, and I fit a little bit of canning in the fall. But we had no other crop. There was no garden or anything here. I don't even have the space, fleshed out for it yet. We're still working on it. So right now, and we're still very busy, my husband's job is very demanding, and we are in the middle of renovations through the house, probably for the next several months. So we are still using grocery store foods and convenience foods, and so we are still bringing cans and jars and boxes of food into the house, as well as fresh produce and stuff. But we don't have the time to cook fresh meals right now, or the kitchen, really. We're working on a kitchenette only because the upstairs kitchen is going to be torn out in the next couple weeks. So right now we're still creating a lot of garbage, but as soon as we get past this renovation, we can use our kitchen properly, and we've gotten past the busiest times and the renovation is done. We want to make sure that we're canning our own foods and freezing and dehydrating and storing things as much as possible in reusable containers, so that we're creating less waste that way, and burning some things that we do have, so we don't have to put that into the waste stream, and the composting. And then another one is upcycling. I like to use upcycling more in a crafty manner than anything else, but we do that too, and just plain old reusing. So these are some of the things that we're going to be working on over the next several months, and I'll make sure we bring you along for that journey also. But I'd like to know from you, other ways that you manage your waste that's going out into the world. How much waste do you put out? Can you avoid having a garbage pickup every week? And then methods of composting or dealing with other types of waste. I really want to get ideas from all of you, because we've lived in the country, we've had gardens, but we've never homesteaded before, and I want to make this a system that it all kind of works together. So I would love to hear any of your tips for the more experienced homesteaders. So I would greatly appreciate any help you can give us to solve this garbage problem. I'm still kind of flabbergasted that they just don't even offer a recycling service here. But I'm kind of glad, because it kind of kickstarted us, or me anyway, to put a focus on reducing how much we're bringing into the house, as well as ways to reduce and recycle. So thanks for coming and watching and hanging out with me today and talking about garbage. Please, if this is your first time here, I would love for you to subscribe, go back and watch some of my other videos. So like, share, let's start a conversation about garbage in our world. Thanks for watching.